City enter Thiago race, PSG stun Atalanta, Juve plan Alexander Lacazette deal, a transfer roundup, and today's Thursday favourites all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and a bit of a transfer blow for Liverpool as Manchester City have entered the race to sign Bayern Munich midfielder Thiago. Now, according to Bild in Germany, the 30 million euros that has been, well, touted as enough to bring Thiago away from Bayern Munich is actually on the money. It's just that Liverpool haven't exactly made a bid yet. Reportedly, they have agreed terms with the midfielder because he really wants to work under Jurgen Klopp. Having said that though, he also has now twice worked under Pep Guardiola. There was Barcelona, then he brought him to Bayern Munich, and it's clear that they share a little bit of a bond as well. The thing is, Manchester City are reportedly willing to offer Bayern and the player more money than whatever Liverpool do. I mean, if Liverpool are trying to go head to head with Manchester City when it comes to opening their checkbook and a massive bank account, Man City pretty much have financial fair play on their side, so that's not exactly the wisest idea. What it does mean though is that Thiago faces a rather interesting choice. If he moves to Liverpool, he may, I'm not saying he definitely will, he may be a bit of a squad player. I mean, it's notoriously difficult to get into the team that were the best in Europe this season, let's say. I mean, they absolutely smashed the Premier League, so it's not like he's going to walk in and command a starting spot. With Manchester City, he may find it a little bit easier with an aging Fernandinho and David Silva having left the club, but again, of course, there are top teams, they've got many players, so he won't exactly walk straight into the squad. It's a big decision for him to make, but the first step has already been made as he has said that he wants to leave Bayern this summer, so it looks like he will end up in the Premier League after all. We just don't know whether it's going to be with City or Liverpool. But moving on and to last night's sensational is the word, Champions League match. The ties have completely changed. There's no more two legs. It's just one leg. Everybody's going for it, and Atalanta almost had a place in the Champions League semi-finals. But PSG took it away from them right at the last. Having said that, just on a quick side note, I think that the goals being in the last few minutes made it seem like Atalanta was so close and that PSG just nicked it away from them. Where realistically, if PSG has scored those goals in like, I don't know, the 39th minute and the 73rd or whatever, it would have seemed like, yeah, PSG deserved to win it, because they did. Just because they scored the goals late on doesn't mean they didn't deserve it. They were by far the better team throughout the game, putting a lot more effort into actually attacking, and I thought that Atalanta were a little bit disappointing. Like, I understand they're the underdogs, and they don't exactly want to go completely gung-ho, especially after they scored a goal, but they just seem to foul a lot. I was just watching the game thinking, my God, my respect from Neymar went to here, because I think he's brilliant already, to even higher, because he got their shit kicked out of him for 90 minutes, still got on the ball, made something happen. He was unpredictable, he's brilliant, apart from those terrible misses in the first half, and really had a hand in both goals at the end. I mean, after being knackered after 93 minutes of play, he feeds a lovely ball through to Mbappe, who squares it for Choupo-Moting, and the man who got relegated with Stoke fires his side into the Champions League semi-final. This is why I love football, because it's utterly ridiculous at the same time as being marvellously brilliant. Anyway, the end of the road for Atalanta, and as we said, they've been very excited to watch the season. Not really so much last night. This does, though, finally beg the question, and I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about the Champions League knockouts being just one leg? Do you think it makes it a little bit more exciting? Do you think Kylian Mbappe would have come on if PSG had a second leg and they would have maybe taken the 1-0 defeat to Atalanta in the first leg? What do you think about it? Maybe we should do this every year. Scrap the whole two-leg thing altogether and that ridiculous away goals rule, right? As Liverpool found out against Atletico Madrid. And maybe just have one leg tie. It's fast-paced, it's aggressive, there's one game, it's 90 minutes for a spot in the next round of the Champions League. I think it's all rather exciting. I'm hoping the next 3 games are just as brilliant. But back to some transfer news now, and apparently Juventus are eyeing up a deal for Arsenal forward Alexander Lacazette. Now, there's been so much talk about Lacazette and Aubameyang leaving the Emirates this summer. One of them will go, one of them won't go, they're both going to go, they're both going to stay. Can they both play together up front, especially with other players coming in? Who knows? But with Gonzalo Higuain seemingly on his way out the door at Juventus and potentially Paulo Dybala leaving as well, that leaves Cristiano Ronaldo, who's also been linked with an outrageous move to PSG, although I don't quite think that one is going to happen. So they're looking to bring in Alexander Lacazette. Now, the one thing that Juve have got going for them is, like I mentioned with Higuain, they have so many players who they can get rid of this summer. I mean, in a little bit of money, but in exchange, in a swap deal, they could throw in Higuain to Arsenal, Khedira, maybe they fancy a bit of Douglas Costa, maybe they want Aaron Ramsey back, there's Matteo De Cilio as well. There's so many players that Juve can offer to Arsenal, it's probably worth a listen. This would also mean it frees up Aubameyang to be the central striker, and they can focus on getting in another winger as well, or playing one of the brilliant wingers they've already got. Imagine if they got rid of Lacazette and they just said the front three is Saka on the left, Aubameyang in the middle and Pepe on the right. Go and do your business. It's quite a scary thought for the rest of the Premier League. So next up, and a bit of transfer roundup news. And talking of Arsenal, they apparently have been offered a swap deal with Roma for their midfielder Amadou Diawara in exchange for Lucas Torreira. Next up, and Liverpool are reportedly going to offer around 40 million euros for Ismaila Sarr from Watford. At least that's how much the relegated club want for their winger. Southampton have confirmed the signing of Real Valladolid defender Mohamed Salisu for 10.9 million. And by the way, if you didn't watch him this season in La Liga, a really good signing for them. And lastly but not least, Lyon Sporting director Juninho, legendary player, has admitted that midfielder Houssem Aouar could be leaving the club this summer after their Champions League involvement is done. Finally, we come to this week's Thursday favourites, where you guys asked me about 5 of my favourite anything in football. This one comes from Jishnu Nair, who said, Matt, who are your 5 favourite one-club men of all time? What a question. There's so many good players, but I'm not quite sure we see it so often these days. Transfers are all the rage. Everyone loves swapping clubs, seeing the world, getting them big signing on fees and that big pay rises. So yeah, most of these players are retired. Anyway, the first off, Ledley King. Yeah, it's a little bit biased, but I watched him so much at Spurs and I absolutely loved him. 14 years at the club, over 250 appearances, and that all-impressive League Cup trophy in 2008. What a serious baller. Anyway, could have been one of England's best centre-backs if it wasn't for injuries, but we'll move on to the next one. That is the legendary Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes pretty much just defined Manchester United in the Premier League era, and there were other players I could have picked. Yes, there's Gary Neville and Ryan Giggs as well, but for me, Scholes, he was just fantastic. 700 games for Manchester United in 20 seasons, and a trophy cabinet that is just absolutely outstanding. There is nothing he hasn't won, except maybe the UEFA Cup. I think he'll take the Champions League trophy instead. Alongside this though, and my third player on this list is someone else who has quite a phenomenal trophy cabinet, and he's still playing at Bayern Munich, reinventing himself almost. It's Thomas Müller. 12 years ago, he broke into the Bayern Munich first team and hasn't really looked back since with Bayern or with Germany, although actually he's out of the German squad now. Maybe he's playing himself back into the Euro 2021 squad. Anyway, it's been over 500 appearances for him and he's still going strong, and yeah, an absolute legend of the game. Number 2, and you're probably going to think I'm mad for number 2, but it's my favourite. Doesn't mean they're best, it's just my favourite, and you guys let me know yours in the comment section below. The second one on this list is Lionel Messi, because of course it is. 17 years deep in the Barcelona first team, absolutely smashing records and probably making himself known as the best player of all time. That is a whole separate discussion which can't really be asked to have in this video or many other videos because, you know, trolls in the comment section. Anyway, Messi's brilliant, Barcelona are brilliant, and he's been doing so well for them for so long. Long may it continue. I have the feeling though, at the end of his career, we may not be seeing Messi as a one-club man. I've got the feeling the last season or two, he may make a nostalgic return to Argentina or maybe somewhere else. So lastly but not least, we come to the true definition of a one-club man. There's something romantic about Italian football and players staying at one club, rejecting the advances of other big European teams to remain loyal to their colours, and no one sums that up more than Francesco Totti. Yes, there's also the likes of Maldini and Baresi at AC Milan, but I'm too young to remember their whole career or to remember the glory years of their career. But for Francesco Totti, he stayed at Roma. He even went on to become a director, although he's now left. He turned down the likes of Real Madrid. He turned down big moves to big clubs for big money to stay loyal to Rome in the eternal city, even though he only won a few trophies. Absolutely fantastic. So there you have it. My 5 favourite one-club men. But of course, let me know your favourites in the comment section down below alongside your thoughts on the rest of the day's daily news and that thrilling Champions League match. Whilst you're at it, you can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.